I'm a third year at the University of Georgia. I'm an international affairs major and a Russian minor.
Hey, I'm Carlos Burst, and I'm a fourth year at the University of Georgia. I'm a German, Intermediate, and Slavic language major, and I have a history minor.
We started out here at Espresso Royale Cafe, which is a local coffee shop here in Athens, Georgia. And the reason we did is because we wanted to talk about coffee shops and their part in American student culture. Athens has several coffee shops, and they include Starbucks, Espresso Royale, and Jittery Joe's.
Okay. Personally, I like Starbucks the best, but Wynn here prefers Espresso Royale. So after class, people tend to go to coffee shops to study and do homework, or just to go on a rendezvous with a friend and just chat. So that's usually why I go, and I love it.
And that's typically what American college students do in their off time while they're not in class, other than working. This is a panoramic shot of Athens Main Street, which is called Broad Street. And what you're looking at is a majority of coffee shops and restaurants. And this is where the majority of students will hang out after classes. Athens was actually not a city at the founding of the university in 1785. In 1785, this was all farmland, and the city sprung up around the university. The University of Georgia, the University of Georgia is the largest state-operated school in the state of Georgia, and it's one of the most difficult schools to get into. We are typically called the public Ivy League of the South.
You can be in the opposite.
And the University of Georgia is also a land and sea grant university, which is typically only designated to public institutions in the United States. Land grant means that the university is given a certain amount of state land to perform research, as well as a sea grant, which means that the state is given access to the ocean down to the coast of Georgia to also perform research for the university. This research is publicly funded and eventually goes to help with the development of new techniques and inventions.
So this is the arch, one of the famous landmarks of Athens. Everybody talks about it, everybody knows where it is, so if you have to, figure out a meeting place, the arch is always a good place to start. One thing though, there is a legend that if you walk through the arch, you won't graduate. I have to amend this a little bit because I've accidentally walked through it one day when I was talking on my cell phone. I still hope to graduate, but it did make me change my major. So I think that you can walk through and then not graduate with that major, but you're still okay to graduate.
Hi, this building here is called the Hunter Holmes Academic Building because all of the student affairs offices are located here. Now, it's called Hunter Holmes because of the first two African Americans that attended the university back in the 1970s. Now, the most important office for students located in this building is Student Financial Aid. Now, why is that? Because here in the United States, Americans are made to pay for their education, even if you attend a public institution. So, because the price of education here at the university is so expensive, we all have to come up here and receive federal funding to pay for our classes. Oh, hello again. We're directly across from the Hunter Holmes Academic Building, and we're also adjacent to the arch. But behind me, you see a quad. Now this quad is typically an area full of grass, and you find them numerous on American campuses, and students will often come out and play games and study out in the grassy areas. They're provided as public green spaces for the students who attend the university, and they're often utilized by the public because the campus is open. What you just saw was the chapel bell. Now, the chapel is one of the oldest buildings located on North Campus, and it is often used for lectures, It's called the chapel because programs and weddings are often held in this building, but it has no religious significance. Now, the bell, while this might look like the most tranquil place on campus, is actually used for the most mayhem. After games and weddings and a really hard night of going out on the town, most UGA students, while walking back to their dormitories, will stop by the bell and pull it, as Carlos will demonstrate for you. The tone of this marvelous bell can be heard all over the city and campus for many, many hours, way late into the night on our weekends. And it often wakes all of the freshmen who do not go downtown around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning when the bars close downtown. That was our campus bell.
Hey, this is the Hurdy Field Fountain. A lot of students come here just to relax and read and just, sit down and like most places, just have a chat with their friends. There are a lot of benches so you can, have a place to sit while you're doing your homework or anything like that. But also, a lot of people toss little coins into the fountain for good luck. And I like to do it before tests because that's when I really need it. And yeah, this is the fountain on Hurdy Field. So right now we're in Joseph E. Brown Hall, or better yet, Joe Brown Hall. This is where the Department of Germanic and Slavic Languages is, and right now I'm in the computer lab. So this is where we do all our typing for our homeworks because we have the Russian keyboards in here. And this is where most of the Russian classes take place. So everyone's always in here.
This is the Joe Brown staircase. What you see behind me is a picture leading to an imaginary hallway. What used to be there? A staircase. This staircase was a part of a boys' dormitory here on campus that was Joseph E. Brown. And the story goes that when the building was remodeled to house the Germanic and Slavic department, they bricked off this area because the room that sat behind it was where one of the students committed suicide. Ever since, this wall's been here, and this photo has been here, leading to the imaginary hallway. And everyone that comes into the Germanic and Slavic department is inducted with this legend of Joe Brown Hall. This is Carlos and Wynn signing out from Joe Brown Hall for our first podcast.
Пока.
До свидания.